Welcome to episode 2 of Tokyo Rise. Let's get into this. So Adrian and Sarah will be running around the city looking for a villain. There's a giant rock villain in there who's destroying all kinds of buildings. Adrian and Sarah get ready. Sarah, instantly her eyes start to glow blue, as Adrian can already feel that she's about to stop time and obliterate the monster. She doesn't stop time and crushes the rock monster's armor. As he goes, Ting! Adrian goes, that still scares me to this day. As he blasts off with fire going, Aah! As he spins around and flames it right in the face, destroying it for real. As he burns it, going, Aah! As then he grabs its humongous arm, and ties it as Sarah jumps on the other side and grabs the other arm, and they tie it together as they go, Aah! As he goes, as he tries to rip it, but Adrian goes and creates a fire spear from his hand as he goes, as he pierces it right to the stomach, as it's almost dead, but it's unconscious. They send it straight to the ship when, as he goes, I gotta go. Adrian still uses swords still. He's the only one actually in the city who uses swords. As he goes, as he turns into the Swordsman Spirit, which is a giant beast that's basically the Susanoo. He's basically Kakashi Susanoo. As he goes, as he cuts through more monsters. As then, Adrian, who's also insanely powerful, hasn't even shut off a bit of his skill. As Adrian actually wakes up in the morning, as that was a dream of how he destroyed 2 monsters. But he gets an alert from Sarah saying that she needs backup because this thing's gonna kill her. Adrian texts, I'll be on my way. As he instantly blitzes, as he doesn't even check who's there, as he appears in front of the monster, punching it, instantly destroying it. And this monster is bigger than the city. It's a giant centipede monster, as he obliterates it with one punch. As he goes, as he says that there's nothing else to do here, let's get out of here, as they walk away. As all there's left is the ashes, which turn right back into the centipede, Adrian goes, die in hell! As he creates a blast from his hand and obliterates it. As Adrian smiles, going, that's done, now let's go, Sarah. As they dip. As now, Adrian is like, what am I gonna do now? As then they decide, it's time for their one last mission. It's time for them to go to school as 3rd years. Going back to their old class. Because now their whole class is probably 3rd years now, they should head back. Because I'm pretty sure when you're 18, you're a 3rd year. So he jumps in going, 17. They're 17, they go into their last year. Adrian goes, we're almost there, as they see Akane, Akira, Troy, Remy and Alex. They see Mia, the elemental princess, and a couple of more students. They head to the top of the building, because that's where them 3rd years, also high tiers, go to, because there's a new system in the school, and these guys are the strongest. Adrian says, so guys, how we doing? Troy says, doing pretty good. Alex says, we're having pretty good times. Then Troy says, Adrian, why do you still use your stupid sword? He goes, it's not stupid. Second of all, it's actually helpful. I can't use my swordsman spirit without it. And I like it. It gives me a vibe, and I'm also dual wielding it now, so it's much easier to help. He goes, cool, as they head in. And they see their old teacher, Mr. Johnston. He goes, hi, I'm Mr. Johnston, nice to see you all. So, idiots, now it's time. Friends, Adrian says, he's got nothing work. Okay, I'm kidding. He goes, alright class, welcome back to Tokyo High. So, how y'all doing? After your adventures. They're smiling, saying that was the best time of their lives, and he says this is going to be a good year, because you guys are finally going to become the strongest. As then the alarm goes off saying that there will be a ginormous 500-meter centipede coming to them. Adrian says, I got this. Mr. Johnson says, no. He says, I've gotten way stronger than you have, sir. As he jumps out of there, and everyone watches from the TV, except with disbelief, except Sarah, because she already knows he can do this. He creates, with one slice, he cuts the thing in half. As he goes, ah! As I say, pro hero Adrian has not pro hero, but pro swordsman Adrian has defeated the 500-meter centipede. As he goes, as he cuts it in half. As then he turns around and destroys it and picks it up, going, got it. He gets an interview saying, how did you do it? He goes, hard work and training. Now I'm gonna go. Now with this, he'd be fighting, he'd get back to class, and he says, it's time for more sparring. Adrian versus Akane. Let's get started. Adrian says, alright Akane, let's go. He goes, bring it on, Adrian. He goes, right. As he drops his swords and goes, he takes one big breath, as then the ground starts to shake. He goes, as he's powering up even more. He goes, as lightning. As he goes, as fire starts to swirl around as the rocks are rising. As he goes, the fire tornado was around him. As he goes, this is what I call fire spin. As he goes, as he shoots out 3 hurricanes, fire tornadoes, which come right at Akane. He goes, and shoots a beam which clashes with them. He goes, as the two of them clash. Adrian goes, die! As he pushes even farther forward, as she goes, as a giant explosion happens which collides. They take us into the air, which they start to clash, going, Mr. Johnson says, I didn't know they were this good. They're probably way stronger than the principal. As they go, as the two clash, sending a shockwave throughout the school and the entire city. As they go, Adrian landing a hit to her gut and then kicks her to the ground. He goes, you're stronger than when I first unlocked this form. He goes, how couldn't I be? I'm stronger than when you unlocked your second form the first time. Adrian goes, as they clash. He goes, let me bring it up a notch. As he goes, he says, why don't I bring it up a notch? The fire tornado disappears as a blue flame shuriken appears on his back. Actually, a blue flame sword appears on his back, and a shuriken with a blade, with a blue fire blade and a blue fire shuriken. As his hair is flown up with blue flames, along with his hands, as he goes, and the shuriken he throws. He goes, as she's blasted back. He blitzes her with the sword, slicing her arm. She goes, as he drops, as the blade disappears along with the shuriken, as he kicks her to the sky, as he goes, as this launches her actually into space. He flies up and grabs her leg, flying to the sky as he goes, seismic toss, as he throws her down to the ground. As then he pulls out his blade and goes, Skyrim! She yells, night! He says, they both yell, slash days! She yells days and he yells, slash. They go, as he goes, As he spins his turnaround, and then they clash as they go. As then they're taken to a white. As then they go. Adrian is forcing his hand down on it as he goes. As she is yelling even harder, as he breaks through it, as he goes. And then he goes. As his arm is enveloped with blue flames, as he goes. As with one punch, she's defeated. It just opens a black hole, which swallows tons of dust. And then he goes. As these get blasted back, as he lands on his feet, going. He lands on his feet as Akane is defeated, as he's on his feet with his hair done, going. As he goes, that was fun and harder. As he pulls up Akane, saying that was a great match. She says, yep. Troy says, were you two even trying? Sarah says, yeah, were you? They say, nope, we were barely trying. Everyone's jaws drop. That destroyed the entire yard of where they were. All the trees were blown down. Everything was blown down. They're literally in a crater. A 10 times big crater. There's no way they were only going 1%. They're 100% bluffing. And the two say, no. We could probably do much more. Adrian says, in Akane, you kinda lied. She goes, what are you talking about? He says, this time was way weaker than when I first unlocked the second part of the form. He goes, well, I was only going 1%, and I also have surpassed that. He goes, just kidding, this was way more powerful. She's beginning to be in a more remote place. He goes, oh? Well, then I'll place down my unbreakable barrier. As he puts a cube around them, that'll give them as much fighting space as they need, and it will explode them. It will not crack. And if it will crack, then the whole planet. He says, let's go to another planet. Since we know that you two are gonna probably destroy it. Let's just go to outer space, actually. As the tech on Earth has increased so much more that literally they can literally have hovercrafts. That they just go to the sky and they watch as Akane and Adrian can release their full power. As Akane turns into this demon beast at 100%, she goes, as he goes, you're gonna lose, Adrian. He laughs, going, as he goes, as he turns into the stammer, into the swords and spirit, as he goes, as the two clash in the air, as they go, as they're really clashing their punches. As the whole multiverse is shaking at their clashes. As Adrian goes, as many planets around there are being destroyed by just the clash. Adrian's sword spirit turns way bigger, along with Akane's black demon. As she goes, she says, alright, Hydra attack! Twin Dragon! As the two, he goes, flame style! Twin Dragon attack! As the two dragons clash with each other, as they go, with the 4 dragons clash, as they go, as he goes, good! As he creates these 2 discs from his hands, going, flame discs! As he throws them forward, as she goes, Kamehameha! As she said, basically a Kamehameha. The two clash as they go, as he says, flame control arrow. As he launches the arrow, she goes, and creates her own orb, which the two clash, creating a humongous explosion, wiping out all the planets next to them, except for Earth. As he goes, as then he punches her right in the face. His sword And then Spirit punches her right in the face, knocking her into the sun. But she's already bigger than the sun, so it can't really do anything to her. She goes, as she basically tries to absorb the sun. But he punches her in the face, knocking her back. As he grabs it, going, taking all of its power, making it just a white dwarf. As he puts it down, going, the whole earth is plunged into darkness. As he goes, as then his sword and Spirit, which is usually blue, is now red. He goes, as they rush at full power, going, with full power strikes, which are crumbling the universe down. Along with the galaxy, Mr. Johnson says that this is way too much, with Sarah saying that there's no way they can stop them, so there's no point. Adrian's literally absorbed the power of the sun, and Akane is absorbing the power of the moon. They're going to be flying through galaxies before this fight is done. They fly to another galaxy. As they go, Adrian goes, "You're pretty good, Akane. I don't even know where we are." As they clash with their sword, as Adrian clashes, clings his swords together, going, cling, 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 fire slash. As it comes right at her, she goes, dark beam. As the two clash. Too far, as this galaxy is destroyed, as they fly out of it, while fighting still, as they go, as they're really not holding back. Adrian goes, as he powers up full power, as he rushes at her with full force, and they both clash. As it's all over now, Adrian has won. With a punch, knocks her straight down into Earth, which she hits, putting it almost, but then she drops out of her form, making her fall into the ocean. Adrian catches her, going, I'm gonna fall, as he throws her forward, going, get up. Now with this, let's get into this. Let's go for a couple of, now this is all